Morning, good morning. How are you? I hope you're safe and well. Don't be alarmed by the big winter jumper. I've been doing some recording to put extra information into CLP Mastery, and this is for continuity purposes. Although it's cold enough to wear a big jumper today here, raining, and we're in the middle of July. Great. Right, the aspartame situation. Now, if you are a follower of chemical controversy, you will be aware that the IARC has recently declared that aspartame is a potential carcinogen. And I have been involved in helping publicize the titanium dioxide scandal, which is where titanium dioxide's been declared a potential carcinogen, and it's a whole load of rubbish, basically. There is no evidence apart from studies in rats over the inhalation of titanium dioxide, and everybody who has anything to do with toxicology, including ECHA, including the French competent authority who were involved in this, is well aware that rats will basically form tumours if they inhale 2,000 milligrams per kilogram of any type of dust. It is not a unique function of titanium dioxide. And titanium dioxide has kind of been tarred by association with other things, including talc and carbon black, both of which may have problems, often stemming from impurities rather than from the products themselves. Right, so several of my colleagues who are involved in titanium dioxide and trying to defend its good name have jumped perhaps slightly too quickly on the aspartame bandwagon, saying, oh, this is ridiculous, there's a safe level of use, it's been studied. Yes, that is correct. It has been studied and a safe level has been given by the authorities. But what we have with aspartame is a completely different situation. And I would like to thank my colleague Alison Potts at this point for explaining the biochemistry and the metabolism to me, because it really ain't my thing. What happens with aspartame is it's broken down in the body. And one of the things it's broken down to in the small intestine is methanol. Now, methanol is then metabolized in the liver to formaldehyde, which is a known carcinogen. And it appears that if you have enough methanol in your body, you get lesions on the liver, and that's how the cancer can start. So when we're talking about aspartame, this is something that can create in the body a known carcinogen through a metabolic pathway. Now, the weird thing about this is that because it's creating methanol by fermentation on the whichever chemical route you're going with, if you have ethanol in your system at the same time, the enzyme that changes the methanol to formaldehyde goes, oh, goody, ethanol. Let's get that. And I'm just going to check on my sketch note here, which I did in a conversation with Ali yesterday, which we are going to work on to produce to explain all of this. And the enzyme is alcohol dehydrogenase. And that will preferentially go, ethanol, yeah, I love ethanol, I love you, ethanol, I'm going to react with you. And that creates acetaldehyde instead of formaldehyde. So if you are a drinker, you may find that actually you're not actually going to create the formaldehyde. So the people most at risk from aspartame and the metabolic pathway to create the formaldehyde are people who don't drink, children who should not be consuming alcohol. They also have a smaller body weight than people as well. So there is hi Grace, I'm recording. Sorry, that's Grace coming to work this morning. So what we have is this really weird situation where, yes, there has been a safe level of aspartame given. So I'm just saying to Grace to wait there because she's going to put me off. Just stand there and don't do anything. God, what a morning it is. So what we have is we've got this situation where, yes, formaldehyde may be created if there's no ethanol in the body. And we have this situation where children are being encouraged or certainly allowed to drink fizzy drinks containing aspartame, and this will create formaldehyde in their body through a normal metabolic pathway because they don't have any alcohol in their system. Compare and contrast to somebody my age, if I have a rum and Diet Coke, Well, the rum is going to solve the problem anyway. So children are more at risk also because of the milligram per kilogram thing. They've got a higher dose per body weight. The problem with formaldehyde is as well, we don't know, as far as Ali's aware, and therefore as far as I'm aware, whether this is a sort of what you might call Paracelsus toxicity situation where the dose makes the poison, or whether it's a different sort of thing, more analogous to asbestos, where you've got to be unlucky with white asbestos and get a particular angle of attack of a particular particle to cause asbestosis. Well, it seems to me that some cancers are going to be like that. You just got to be unlucky and the wrong thing happens at the wrong time to start that pathway, or insufficient amounts that your immune system can't control it anymore. So clearly, increasing the dose or having a dose of aspartame to create formaldehyde in the body is not a good thing. Totally unlike titanium dioxide, which, as I've said before, is innocent. However, we also need to be really aware that the mechanism for creating methanol and formaldehyde can come from natural foodstuffs as well. Anything that is in the body and that is going to ferment in the lower intestine has the potential to create methanol and therefore to have this metabolic pathway. And Ali gave me a big long list of, certain fruits that would create this and all the rest of it. And again, like I said, we're going to try and do a sketch note about it in a bit more detail. So the problem with formaldehyde in the human body is that we just don't know what dose everybody's getting, because you could be on what you think is a really, really healthy diet with lots of fruit. Now, actually, it could be the wrong sort of fruit, and you could be creating a lot of methanol in your body without even realizing it. And then you add the aspartame effect in on top. So the whole thing is much more complicated. And I feel that those of us who are champions of titanium dioxide need to be really wary about saying, oh, aspartame is innocent as well, because no, it isn't. The aspartame itself may be, but it's metabolic products, it's breakdown products, first of all, in the small intestine, creating methanol. And then the metabolic product of methanol being formaldehyde. That is a genuine, known, harmful pathway in the human body. So we have to be a bit steady about saying, well, the anti-chemicals people are against aspartame, therefore we must defend it. No, doesn't work like that. Ali has a great deal of detail about this in today's newsletter. And if you're interested, I really do urge you to read it if you're not already on our newsletter list. Just putting the link below this video now. It is going to be coming out at 9:30. If you are a new subscriber, you'll be able to get it from our online archive. So that's where I am with aspartame at the moment. Like I say, Grace is in now, and I'm going to hand her this piece of paper and go turn that into one of your marvelous sketch notes for us to explain it a lot more clearly. She's looking a bit worried, poor girl. So leaving that on one side, the newsletter also has what I think is a really important link in it. If your family is afflicted with dementia or you have a friend with dementia, you'll know what a tremendously traumatic thing this is. And there's an author called Wendy Mitchell who actually is living with dementia herself, who has done some wonderful, wonderful books about it. And I recommend it to everybody who has an interest in this. And I'm putting the link to her Amazon page below here. The first book to start with is Somebody I Used to Know. And thanks ever so much to Sam Goliker, who was recently moved from Lubrizol, for giving me a copy of that book in the first place. It is a lifesaver. Right. All of that really heavy stuff, we need some light relief. And we have some Mitchell and Webb. Oops. And this is Moon Landings, which is hilarious, I have to say. Thanks very much to Ali, who's done a bit of a newsletter takeover today. This is her idea. Oh, and thanks also to Grace, who's looking at me seriously, because I've put in a recipe from her as well on brownies. Anyway, take care of yourself. I've got to go and make sure I'm not going to be sacked by Grace. Bye.